Hi guys, welcome back to Behind the Reel. We just got out of a screening of Mortal Kombat 2. Your thoughts?
I had a lot of fun with this movie. I have loved playing the games. I haven't played many of them, but I've played a handful of them every once in a while, mostly Mortal Kombat 11 after I watched the first one. And the games are just so much fun, and I feel like the movies do a really good job of keeping that intensity and just going from fight to fight. This one, I feel like they did a better job of just speeding through and getting to fights a little bit faster, which kind of hurt it as well because the fights felt a little bit less quality per them, but they were all still very fun fights. And Carl Urban did a great job as Johnny Cage. I like that they've started putting more perspective onto him taking the lead. And he just had a lot of great moments. There was tons of pop culture references. I was surprised that they threw in there. And Scorpion is one of my favorite characters of all time in general. And seeing him again in this and the first one just gets me so excited. And being able to see Sub-Zero come back as his other counterpart, as seen in the trailer, as Noob Saibot, was just a lot of fun. And I feel like they did a great job with that. What are your thoughts?
I unfortunately didn't like it nearly as much as you did, but I'm also not a big fan of the first one, and I haven't played any of the games, so I'm definitely missing out on some of that, like the references and that personal connection. But as this film stands, I think that it definitely feels like a step above the first one in some aspects, while in some aspects it feels very much the same level. I think a lot of the CGI backgrounds look a lot better. There's one sequence in particular that I was absolutely amazed with the color of the background, how it transitions from blue to red and back to blue. I thought that scene, you'll know it when you see it, I thought was excellently done. The fights are interesting. Some of them don't interest me as much as the others. But for the most part, I had relatively a good time with most of the fight scenes. Some of the characters still feel a little stiff to me, but Carl Urban as Johnny Cage was an absolutely incredible addition to the cast. I mean, Carl Urban is just a phenomenal actor, so anytime he was on screen, I had a great time with him. There's one of his movies, Johnny Cage's movies, in this, and I would love to see a full cut of that. That was maybe my favorite scene in the entire film. But overall, I think it's fine. It didn't wow me necessarily, but it's still somewhat fun. But the audience and people around me definitely had a lot more fun than I did, but I also don't have the personal connection to the game, so that might influence that. But what would you give it as a score?
I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 like the first one. How about you?
Probably 2 stars, maybe 2.5, depending on how I feel. But
All right. Let us know if you saw in the comments and like and follow for more content like this.
we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.